I never expected to end up in a situation like this. My whole life, my parents had been telling me about this college fund they'd set up for me when I was born. It wasn't just talk. They'd show me the statements, talk about how it was growing, how I wouldn't have to worry about student loans like they had. It was a point of pride for them. "We've been putting away money since you were a baby," my mom would say. "Your education is the most important investment we could make." I worked hard in high school. Really hard. I got into my dream school, a private university with an excellent program in my field. The tuition was steep, but my parents assured me the college fund would cover most of it. I'd need some small loans, maybe a part-time job, but nothing overwhelming. 2 months before my first tuition payment was due, I sat down with my parents to talk about the logistics of accessing the fund. That's when their expressions changed. "There's something we need to tell you," my dad said, not meeting my eyes. My mom looked at the floor. "The college fund. It's gone." I thought I'd misheard. "What do you mean, gone? Like we need to transfer it from one account to another?" My dad shook his head. "No, it's all gone. We invested it." Invested. That was the word they used. But as the story unfolded, it became clear that invested was a generous description. Over the past 3 years, they had systematically emptied my college fund, all $120,000 of it, and poured it into what was very obviously a pyramid scheme. It had started small. A friend of my father's had introduced him to this amazing business opportunity, selling wellness products. The pitch was familiar to anyone who's ever seen these schemes. Become a distributor, recruit more distributors, watch the money roll in. The products themselves were overpriced vitamins and miracle supplements that supposedly cured everything from acne to arthritis. "We thought it would make us rich," my mom explained, tears in her eyes. "Everyone was making so much money. We thought we'd be able to put back your college fund with the profits and have extra left over. We were doing it for the family." But of course there were no profits. Just escalating buy-ins, inventory requirements, mandatory conferences, and business development materials that drained not only my college fund, but also their savings, maxed out their credit cards, and eventually led them to take out a second mortgage on our house. They were now $250,000 in debt, most of it at high interest rates. "We're going to lose the house," my dad said. "We've tried everything. We've talked to financial advisors, looked into bankruptcy, but there's just no way out." I sat there in shock, trying to process that my future had been gambled away on supplements and recruitment seminars. Then came the real kicker. "We know this is a lot to ask," my mom said cautiously, "but we were hoping you might be able to help us." "Help you how?" I asked, though I already knew. "If you could take out some additional student loans," my dad jumped in. "Not just for your tuition, but maybe a bit extra to help us with some of these payments until we get back on our feet." They weren't just asking me to understand that my college fund was gone. They were asking me to take on their debt they accumulated while burning through money that was supposed to secure my education and future. I said no, firmly and clearly. I explained that I would figure out my education on my own community college for 2 years, then transfer to a state school, working throughout, but I would not take on debt to bail them out of a pyramid scheme. They didn't take it well. My mom cried. My dad got angry. "After everything we've done for you, this is how you repay us? By turning your back when we need you most?" I reminded them that they had already spent what they'd done for me on a get-rich-quick scheme. That didn't go over well either. I moved out the next day, crashing on a friend's couch while I figured out my next steps. I've since found a small apartment I share with 2 roommates and a job that covers my living expenses while I attend community college part-time. My parents' financial situation has continued to deteriorate. They're on the verge of foreclosure. Family members have been calling me, saying I need to step up and help my parents. My mom's sister told me they've been telling everyone that I abandoned them in their time of need, that I'm a selfish brat who won't help family. I've explained my side to anyone who asks, but it feels like most of the family has taken their side. My dad's brother even suggested I drop out of school entirely and work full-time to help them keep their house. I feel like I'm losing my mind, Am I crazy for not wanting to take on massive debt to fix my parents' mistake? A mistake that already cost me my college fund? They're my parents, and I love them, despite everything, but I can't help feeling like they're trying to steal my future twice. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for refusing to pay my parents' debt after they lost my college fund to a pyramid scheme? Edit. Thank you all for the responses. To clarify some things, yes, I was a minor when they started investing my college fund. I was 16 when they began dipping into it, and they had full legal control over the account. It wasn't a protected 529 plan, but a regular savings account they had set up in their names for my college. No, I never signed anything for their business. They didn't use my name or credit for any of it, thankfully. But they did try to recruit me to sell products to my friends once I found out, saying it could be my contribution to fixing the family finances. Many asked if I've cut contact. Not completely. We still talk occasionally, but our conversations always circle back to money and how I'm abandoning them. I've been considering taking a longer break from communication until they can respect my boundaries. For those suggesting legal action, I've consulted with a lawyer, but since the account was in their names, legally the money was theirs to use as they wished. Morally wrong? Absolutely. Legally actionable? Unfortunately not. Update. It's been 2 months since I posted. My parents' house did go into foreclosure, and they've moved into a small apartment. They're still struggling financially, but have finally consulted with a legitimate financial advisor about bankruptcy options. I've stuck to my boundaries and haven't given them money, though I did help them move and have brought groceries a few times. Some family members still think I'm in the wrong, but my closest cousins and one of my aunts have come around after hearing the full story. I'm continuing with community college and working. It's not the path I expected, but I'm making it work. My parents and I have a strained relationship, but we're talking more honestly now. They haven't explicitly apologized for taking my college fund, but my mom did admit recently that they made some bad choices that affected everyone. It's a start, I guess. Am I the a-hole?